We are going to continue from where we stopped in our last episode, and this is a new episode where we do some setup and also move some data. Right? I know you'll be excited about that part, right? So we're gonna set up Snowflake. I'm gonna start with Snowflake setup and go on to show us how to also set up your Google Cloud, and we're gonna create GCS bucket and do some and create a Postgres source on Docker down to moving data from Postgres into our Snowflake environment using incremental strategy, right? So depending on the data that we are working on, which is going to be the Jaffa Shop data, and it's very common and uh, practical for this particular scenario. So, okay, let's get started. So, we want to set up Snowflake. So, if you have a Snowflake account, you don't need to probably bother about this part. If you have a Snowflake account running already, so this is just for people that probably do not have that. So let's kind of try to create something. So let me open a new browser and try to do that from here. So Snowflake, I already have one set up, so I'm just gonna show us how to do that. So Snowflake trial, right? Just sign up for the free trial. Uh, I might need to actually do this, right? So just put your first name, your last name, your company email, and just be your personal email or any Gmail that you use for maybe for your if you have a company that you're running on your own or a business. It does not necessarily have to be company email, it can be a Gmail address that is customized for your business or for your personal email. If you have used your personal email to register before and your feature has ended, you might need to use another email to open the account. Then role, this can just be any role at all, but just put something that resonates with you. It does not really matter. So I can just put data engineer and then continue and then continue. So when you do that, it's going to probably request uh, which cloud provider you want to use to provision your Snowflake account. Just select Google Cloud for the purpose of this tutorial. Just select Google Cloud, and the reason I'm saying Google Cloud is doesn't really matter in this case because I'm not moving data from GCS directly to Snowflake. But maybe if you even want to do that, so I think you can just choose Google Cloud for the purpose of this tutorial. So after you've done that, then you should be able to access Snowflake, right? It's going to be empty if you don't have, as I said earlier, if you don't have it before, it's going to be empty. Your Snowflake environment is going to be empty. What you're going to have there is just probably sample uh, sample database or data warehouse, right? So uh, let's now go into the Snowflake environment, and after you sign up and stuff like that, you've created it, you have a username and a password already, right? We then go on to set up the environment for this particular project. So this is my own Snowflake account over here, right? So I'm going to click on it and I would open up the username and password. I think I still remember. Uh, uh, remind this guy, right? Uh, okay, so we're gonna sign in real quick. So this is my account, and it should take me in now. Okay, I have to do that again. Sometimes it just does like this, so it does not mean that you're doing something wrong. So probably this is where you're gonna see it. Let's ignore this for now. So uh this is my account. I've stopped using the free trial, right? Because I don't know, I'm still gonna use it for a lot of stuff. So now probably you're gonna see it this way, right? Uh what I need you guys to do, I go to project, just click on project and just click on worksheet. Worksheet is where you write your your code actually. So I have some worksheets that I've already saved here, right? So I'll just go in one of them, right? So let me see up here. You can say open an SQL worksheet. If you want to use Python worksheet, but majorly we're going to work with SQL worksheet. So you can decide to create a new worksheet from here. I'll just open from the one that I've created before. If I go to my worksheets, I'll see the ones that I created probably by me. So now I'm going to open up one of them. So this one worksheet. If you open one of them, all the other worksheets will also be available via the tab, right? So that is where to go. If you want to open a new worksheet, you just click on this icon here, create SQL worksheet. So now I'm going to create a new blank worksheet. So for our setup, I have a script already, and I'm going to provide it in the description of the video, right? So that everybody can access that. Uh, let me look for the scripts. It's going to be in one of these tabs. So just look for it. Yeah, I think this is, yeah, this is everything. Let me da, 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 da. Well, let me just copy it from somewhere. I think I pasted hold on. I pasted the scripts, like the ID script, in one of my projects. So just to it's gonna be here. Okay, so I have the script now. Let me go to my, this is my empty tab. So let me paste it. So we're gonna let me see whether we're not missing anything. So this is the warehouse. Okay, warehouse side, warehouse type, my warehouse. Okay, so I already have this kind of created. So there's some part I already created. For instance, I have a warehouse, because before you do this whole thing, you have to first of all create a warehouse where your database is going to be sitting on, right? So uh so all this identifier, I put a row there. You can put uh let's just put Airbyte row for simplicity's sake, right? So, and your username, you put the username that you want to call it. Warehouse, put a warehouse that you want to call it, right? Uh, then database, you do the same thing. So we're going to have two databases, right, set up. We're going to have two databases set up. We're going to have uh, one for dev and one for prod. That's how we're going to do it, right? So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to create another database. I'm not going to create a new warehouse. I'm going to have a new database is created. You can see I have a lot of databases created under this. So the similar setups like Orbit MDS dev, Orbit MDS. This is going to be our prod. This one, our dev. Those kind of settings, right? Uh, so what we're gonna do is, let me call it. Okay, I'll give it another name. So the role, let me call it MDS role. Username, let me call it MDS. My warehouse. I already have a warehouse, so I don't need to. So if you want to create your own, you can just say MDS warehouse like this. My database, because I'm going to have two databases, I call it MDS prod. I'm going to set, say, my database one. I'm going to set another one. My database two, which one is going to be MDS dev. I'm going to have two schemas for row. One is going to be 1112. One for prod, one for dev, just that way. Then for the maths, oh, I don't need to duplicate it, right? So one for raw, one for dev is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. So out of these four, one is going to be for raw, for dev, one is going to be for prod. Okay, so this one, I don't know what I should. Okay, let me leave this for uh for let me leave it for the web scenario, the web keys. Okay, I can leave that one to just put car listing there. This schema 5, just put as car listing. We are going to like use it for more like web scraping. So the password for our Airbyte, for our user, it is MDS. Let me call it MDS user instead of MDS underscore user. Then put a password that you want to set for it, right? So I can call it something, right? So I'll give it a password, of which you probably not see it in the video. So I'm going to give it something like uh so I'm giving it a password. All right, so then the next thing, to create role, we are going to use security admin role, and all of these variables, you have set it above, so everything just applies. So then I use the security admin, then you now create the new role that we wanted to use, then assign uh the role to sysadmin. Then after you've done that, you're going to create the user that you have set up above using the with the password that we have given, and give it the default role to the role that we created, which is this role that we assigned to sysadmin. Then the warehouse, we're going to assign to that warehouse, right? So, and my warehouse is MDS warehouse. I think my warehouse MDS, because as you can see here, MDS warehouse. We already have like a warehouse that has been set up already, right? So, but in your case, you're going to create it again. So grant role to that particular user, and then to create your warehouse, I'm going to say use the sysadmin role, then create the warehouse, a small cluster size, and so this part, I'm not going to run this part because I've already created the warehouse, so I'm going to comment it out. But for you, you won't comment it out because you might probably not have the warehouse. But if you have a warehouse created, if you are Snowflake user already, you have created one warehouse before, you don't probably need to create another one. Just ignore that part and just in your warehouse, that where we set the variable, just put the name of your warehouse there, but don't run this part that says create warehouse because you already have the warehouse created. All right, so now then we run create database and stuff like that. Then up to create database, no, we have two databases that we are creating. So I'll call it my database one. This is going to be my database one, and grant usage on warehouse and identifier, blah blah blah, to my role, which is the role we have created. Then grant ownership on database to my role. We have database one. Let me I have to run this 2 times because we have two of them. Then database two. And similarly for this, we're going to do it for the two databases. Database two here. Then what else? Use database one and create all the schema that we have listed on top of that database. Then similarly, use database 2 and create the schemas that we have identified above. Then what else? Using my database 1, grant ownership on all the schemas using the role that we have identified, right? Then we're going to do the same thing for database 2, which is the dev. Modify this and put it as 2, and that will be undo, and that will be all. Yeah, and that will be all for the whole setup. So I think you can run the entire code, but let's select. You need to select the database. So let's select the database. So let's run. I think we're all set. So let's run it. So we're gonna start running. There's issue. My password. This guy does not exist. I think. Oh, we didn't put. Okay. I think the easier way is just change this guy to my password. That's the problem that we have here. Instead of saying Airbyte password, to put my password here. Then since we stop, let's run this part. You don't have to like since all of these guys are set already, if you want to run your own, just highlight everything and run, except on the part that I modify or commented out this create warehouse command. If you have not, if you have the warehouse to not be created before, you have to remove this comment and include the create warehouse as part of your command. Okay, so oh god, so if change onto my password, let me see whether we don't have any scenario whereby we are using Airbyte password. Airbyte password. I don't think we have it. So this part has already run that at that time. This is the part that did not run. Uh, so okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Since this part has already been created, we've created the row. I'm going to comment this part out. As of this time, I'm going to comment it out because you you don't need to, it doesn't need to run again. All right, so I'll highlight everything and run again. Okay, 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 okay. It's creating them, creating the schemas. You can see that that's created the my MDS dev. You can see it's using MDS dev at the moment. Then MDS port is creating all those, granting the ownership and all. So it's almost done. All right, statements executed successfully. So at this, if I refresh this left hand side, you should see the database MDS dev and MDS port. You can see now MDS dev, MDS port. If I open it, you see all those schemas, car listing, raw, math, intermediate. This information schema and public is usually there, and staging. Staging, we created it ourselves. So also similarly in MDS prod, you should see all of those schemas created the same way. So I'm going to have this script sent in the description so that I can just do the same thing that I've done. Right. So let me save it. Save. Let me rename it to this thing. MDS 2.0. So I'm going to have the script shared in the description. So we have set up our Snowflake. So the next thing we're going to do is set up a Google Cloud account. I already have a Google Cloud account set up. So but for the sake of this session, let's just do as if we want to set up a new one. Google Cloud setup. So Google Cloud Platform CP, and create a new account, right? I cannot say go to console because create a free account. So it's just automatically signing me in because I already have an account. Oh, okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Open new incognito window, and this, you get started. You see this option, get started for free, right? Then you put your email. You have to ensure that you have not used that email to sign up for Google Cloud. Then just follow the prompts, right? Everything is going to just going to come natural. If you have any challenge, you can drop it in the comment section of this video, right? So I don't have like an email I can use to test in this scenario, so I would love to show you guys. So it's pretty simple, just follow the prompt and you have the free credits and stuff like that. So now let's say you finish setting up the account, right? What you're gonna do is go to Google Cloud Platform. So go to click on the Google Cloud Platform. And since I'm already here, you can see that I'm signing. This is my account, right? See, go to my console here. You click on go to my console. So it kind of takes you to the Google Cloud environment itself. So this is where the console looks like, right? Then what you're gonna do is that I already created a project, but automatically you should have a project that's been created for you, or you create a new project, any which one, right? So since you have that, you have the project selected. Come to this left hand uh, side navigation menu, right? I can actually say create a storage bucket from here because that's what I want to do. But let's assume that this option is not even here, right? Let's go to the left hand side. We now scroll down to cloud storage. Then you see buckets here. Click on it. I have one bucket created, but I'm just going to create another one. Just create it simple. Just click on create. Then give it a bucket name. This bucket name has to be globally unique. That is, somebody has not used that name before. So I'll call it MDS bucket. This might be available somewhere. Let's see. If it's not available, it will flag it. Okay, it seems it's available. You can continue. Oh, it's already taken, as you can see. So let me put MDS bucket 2.0. Let me see whether we can do that. Continue. Okay, we can do that. MDS bucket 2.0. Let's select multi-region. Uh, uh, then let's leave everything else as default. Continue. The storage class want to set it as standard or near line, best for backups if you want to use for backup that is used to being accessed less than once in a month. You can do that. Code line less than once in a quarter, depending, but you're using standard because of the purpose of this session. To continue, this is saying enforce public access prevention on this bucket. We don't want to do that because we want to access it from in this case from Airbyte. So we don't want this. Continue. Every other thing should be set as default. Let's leave everything else. Then click on create. So start creating. Okay, say the bucket name MDS underscore buckets 2.0 is invalid. Okay, so let me see, go back a little bit. Okay, I was hoping it's not going to do that. Let me call it um underscore underscore 2 underscore 0. Let's put it that way. I was actually guessing that it's going to like flag it. So I think everything is standard. And check this and continue, then create. All right, created bucket MDS underscore bucket underscore 2 underscore 0. So these are our buckets, which is good. All right, good to go. So the next thing I'm gonna do is since I've set up our GCS bucket, um, set up our Google Cloud account, set up our GCS bucket. We want to set up Postgres and Docker. Or before we set up Postgres and Docker, let's put in data inside this bucket. That's the data that I want to use. We have created the buckets. On top of this, let's create a folder. Let me call it Jaffu Shop. Jaffu Shop this way. Then inside this folder, that's where we are going to upload our data. So let's click on upload. I'm going to upload files on my local. So I have the files sitting somewhere in my OneDrive, which is let me put it from here. I'm going to make the files available to you guys too, so you don't need to worry. I think I have it somewhere. Yeah, this is the data. So I'm going to highlight everything. We have about 1, 2, 3, that's 6 of them. So open. You're going to start uploading. So started uploading them. It shouldn't take time. So I'm not using every data set. Just, yeah, they are all done. They are all done. Everything is here. So okay, so that's done. So now the next thing is that we want to like set up Postgres on our Docker, because Postgres is our source as our source. So we're going to set up Postgres on Docker now, and I'll just show you how you're going to do that. So let's open a CMD. I want to probably run that from the command line, and let's start our Docker. My Docker is not running, so if I do a Docker PS, see my Docker it's giving me error because my Docker is not running. So I'm going to open Docker desktop, so you can do the same. All right, so my Docker is going to start running soon. Okay, while the Docker is starting up, let me show you. Let me see. Docker should be up already. Okay, Docker is up. Automatically it started the Airflow, my Airflow container. I don't want it to start. I don't have a need for it yet, so I'm going to stop it. So I'm going to cd it to my Airflow directory and Docker compose stop. So what I want to do is to set up Postgres, right? I already have a Postgres source set up, but I'm just going to show you how you need to like run the command ideally, right? So let me open up like the command that you need to run. I think I have it somewhere here. I think I should have it somewhere here. Yeah. So see this command. I'm going to copy it to this terminal. It's not copied. Let me copy it again. Oh God. Yeah. So now look at this command. Docker run. Automatically when you run it, when you do this command, it runs the container, start up the container by default. So Docker run, then the flag D is to run the container in detached mode so that you don't see all the logs showing on your terminal, right? Then the name flag is that you want to give it the name of the Postgres server you want to start up. You want to give it a name. In this case, I'm calling it Postgres source. Then the port, I'm attaching the I'm attaching 5433 as my local port and 5432 as the port in the Docker container. Then followed by the flag E, which is going to define the details of the server itself that I'm trying to run. Postgres password. I'm giving you this password. You can put it as another one. You can say password 1 2 3 4 just like this. Then the name of the Postgres, the name of the image, Postgres. That's what I'm trying to run. And what version of Postgres? 15.6. So when you do this, it's going to start up the server for you, right? With these details. So that is what you need to run. This exactly as you can see it on my screen here. Then you put the password of your choice I want to put it there, which is starting up on my. It's going to start up on your what's it called, on your Docker immediately. So because I already have this particular source created, I don't have to do it again. So I'm going to do Docker start Postgres underscore source. Don't forget I have this Postgres source created already. So I'm just going to say Docker start Postgres source. So I'm going to enter. You can see that it brought up Postgres source as my result, right? You should have started up the Postgres instance now. So let me check Docker PS. You can see that you can see a container running. This is the Postgres 15.6. This is the name of the container, and it was created 4 months ago, and it was up 11 seconds ago. I just started it recently. So look at the port that I assigned to it, right? So it has started. So you can establish connection to this source now. All right. Since you also have this setup, now the next thing is that we want to copy data from. Okay, we are about to move data to the bucket. We want to set up Airbyte and source and destination. In this case, Snowflake and Postgres. And we want to set up what's it called? A source uh from the GCS also. So this is how the flow is going to be like. We're going to move data from GCS to Postgres. Then the data I'm sitting on Postgres, we want to move it uh to Snowflake. You might want to say that why didn't you move it from GCS to Snowflake directly? We can do that. But the ideal scenario that we are trying to create here is from Postgres to Snowflake. Right. You can have it from GCS to Snowflake also. That's also fine. So we want to create two connections. One from Google Cloud Storage bucket to Postgres, and another connection that will pick data from Postgres. Is that same data that we move from GCS to Postgres that we want to move from Postgres to Snowflake. All right, let's get started. So now, because I want to set this up on Airbyte, you have to like start up our Airbyte server. You would have created that from based on our video in the last episode. So you have to seed it to your Airbyte directory. So I'm going to do that. Then say Docker start Airbyte. Sorry, I said Airbyte. Docker compose start. When you do Docker compose start, it will start up your Airbyte container. So, and if I go to one of my browser and just say localhost 8000, you can see it automatically picks my stuff for me here. So I'll just say localhost colon 8000 here and enter. It's not coming up because the container have not finished starting, so they have not started up. So okay, it has responded now. So I'll say Airbyte, then my password, I put it there. Remember from our last episode to sign in. It's still going to come up. There are some services are still running, so it's going to come up in a jiffy. Let me close my Docker desktop here. So it's going to come up in a jiffy. Okay, I think it's responding now. Okay, so we up. Instead of our source, our first source is GCS. Another source I want to create is Postgres. Okay, so go to source, new source. Let's give it a name. First of all, is GCS, right? That's, you say GCS. Is it here? Google Cloud Storage. Now we need the name of our GCS, right? Give it a name, say MDS bucket. Then service account information, the bucket name. And to the right of this my setup, you see like more like a documentation of what you are trying to do, right? So and then what how you need to fill it in into this page. All right, so then whatever thing that you need to put there. Our bucket is GCS something something something. You can go back to our Google Cloud page. This is the name of our bucket, MDS bucket underscore 2 underscore 0. So let's put it here, MDS underscore bucket. Now, for service account information, this has to do with because we cannot access the bucket. You have to some form of authentication to access the bucket. What we're going to do is to create what we call a service account. So we come here. I think I have a service account created, but I think I might just show you how to do that. So when you go to the left panel under IAM, you see service account. Yeah, let me just click. I'm opening a new tab. IAM is Identity Access Management. Let me see. I think I have a service account created. Or by default, you see some of these accounts. Some of these accounts, service accounts are already available. You can try to create a new one. Let me say I create a new service account now and give it a name, say MDS SDC. I want to give it a description, it's optional. You might want to do that. And create and continue. Then what role? You give it a role. Let me see. I need it for the storage bucket. So let me see. Cloud storage, cloud storage, cloud storage, storage. So cloud storage here. I'll put it as storage admin. Then I think that will just be all. Continue. This one, grant users access to the service account. I don't think I want to do that. Then done. Okay, so the account has been created, which is this guy. So the next thing I'm going to do is let's click on this. Let's click on the service account. Use the details, right? Sometimes you might want to create keys, right? You might want to create keys and put it inside of the credentials that you need on Airbyte. But let's check that Airbyte again. Here, let's go down to the documentation. Look at this. create a service account, blah blah blah, create service account, create a JSON key file, right? So the content of this file will be provided as the service account in the UI, this place. So you have to create that key, as I said. So add key, create new key as a JSON. So create. It's going to, after it's done, it's going to automatically be downloaded. You can see it has downloaded. So we've created the Postgres source instance on Docker. So we're going to go into it, go into the instance and create the DB and the schema that we need, right? So say Docker exec -it Postgres underscore source bash. So we are inside the Postgres instance. Then we want to PSQ. So we want to go into the the Postgres instance. Yeah. So we're inside the Postgres instance, and we you can see that what is on the left hand side is Postgres. That's the database that is being selected. That is being selected. So let's create a new database called create database. I think the database that we want to create is MDS underscore prod, right? Okay, the database is created. Then let's go into the database that we create and then create our schema, because we have to create the schema within the database. So let's do this. I think this should get us into the income. Uh, I think I'm not doing it right. Hold on. Uh, mm, so we need to go into, we are currently in the Postgres database. We need to go into the new database that we created, which is the MDS Pro database. Okay, so yeah, I think I got what I'm looking for. So what we slash C to connect to MDS prod. So we are now inside the database that we created, MDS plus. Now we're going to create the database now. Sorry, the schema that we need. Create schema called prod. Okay, schema created. So since that is done, right. So now we're going to set up the source for. We're going to set up MDS um, uh, Google Cloud Storage bucket as a source, and also set up Postgres as a source. So those two sources. Then for the destination, we're going to set up Postgres as also as destination, and Snowflake as destination. So we're going to have two connections. One is going to be from this Google Cloud Storage bucket to Postgres. Then now we're going to have from Postgres to Snowflake. Right. So having said that, let's set up the sources. So two sources. Let's go for the Google Cloud Storage bucket. So GCS. Sorry. Uh, Sources. Let me see. Okay, GCS is now Airbyte connectors, marketplace. We have GCS here. So select GCS. So I'm going to give it GCS source, or let's say MDS GCS source. This can be anything. It's just to give it like a unique name, right? So for service account information, I'm going to put it there real quick. But I'm going to call this MDS GCS source customers. So I'm going to create six separate sources. So because it's going to consolidate, it's not going to consolidate like to bring in the files separately. So we have to create a source for each of the files. Bucket MDS. I will call it MDS. MDS. The name of the bucket is MDS bucket. I can just let me confirm that. Let me confirm the bucket name. I don't need this. So the MDS bucket 2 underscore 0, yeah. So MD underscore bucket underscore 2 underscore 0 as the bucket name. Then click on this add stream. Then give the stream a name. You can just say Jaffa customers. Then it's a CSV file. Then for the other parameter I need to set here is the blobs parameter where we define the path. So Jaffa underscore shop slash customers. Is this slash or the other slash? Let me just confirm from this document here. Okay, it's the other slash, not this one. So slash raw, you know, the file is raw underscore customers dot csv this way. All right. So I think then we need to put in this service account information. So where we downloaded it the other day, just go to downloads where the service account information is this key file. Then we're going to copy the details from here and then put it right here. And I think those are all. That's all for that scenario. So just test source. CMGS GCS source customers. All things being equal, all that things being equal, this should be successful. Let's check the path. I say Jaffa shop, right? O underscore customers.csv. So we are right. So all that things being equal, this should be successful. It's kind of taking some time, so it has passed. All right. So similarly, we create for the other files too. So GCS go to marketplace and say MDS GCS. What other file do you want to bring in? Let's see. We brought in so items. You have O underscore items. So let's call this source underscore items. And service account information, I already copied it. Just paste it here. Bucket name. Put the name of the bucket. Add stream. Let's call it Jafu items. The globe parameter. Jafu shop slash raw underscore items dot csv. So then I think that's all, and then set up the source. So I will just stop here. So we're going to create uh, the remaining connections for those files, but I'll just stop here, and then you can do it in your free time at your end for the remaining files. So let me create Postgres source, Postgres destination. So I want to first of all move this data from Google Cloud Storage to Postgres, then we'll now do Postgres to Snowflake. So new destination rather. So create a destination big Postgres. So select that. So let me call it MDS PG destination. All right. So the host, local host, the port. Remember from when we are creating the Postgres server on Docker, we use port 5433. Then we created a DB called MDS prod. Then the schema was prod. Username is Postgres. Then we created a password, optional field. Put the password. What else? Let's look all of this. Okay, okay. I think everything is set up destination. So let's see. Pa, 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 pa. Let's wait for the destination to pass connection test. All right, all connection test passed. Good. So let's create a connection. So the source MDS is select the GCS, the Google Cloud Storage bucket for the customers file. Select this. For the destination, we are selecting the Postgres destination that we. So it automatically selected it because you only have one destination yet. So at the moment you have more than one destination, you have the option to select which destination. So it's preparing the schema. So this is the stream, and this is the sync mode that is being selected. Incremental append dedupe. If you want to do this, you can select that option. That is, if you have a cursor key that you want to use for the incremental loop. So you use incremental append or incremental append dedupe. Incremental append dedupe just does like try to do an incremental append, and whereby there is like a change from the data in the destination, in the source. When you're using like a cursor key and a last modified date. So if you if I if I insert a data that's already been changed from the source, and those changes wouldn't have been written to the destination. So if it does an append, it's going to appear like a duplicate. Let's say customer 101, the the address was Lagos State before, but then the customer 101 has changed address to person has moved to Abuja City. So in that case, customer 101 is going to have two records. One when customer was in Lagos, another record when the customer has already moved to Abuja. So what append dedupe now does is that when you have that kind of scenario, it now deduplicates and remove the instance of where the customer was in Lagos and retain the recent instance whereby we have uh, the Abuja city. And also in cases whereby um, maybe it's not a change of attributes, but one way or the other, duplicate was able to enter into your stream. It also removed the duplicate either ways. So depending on the structure of how you feel your stream is going to behave, if you think it's not going to have any updates or there's not going to be any case whereby the record is going to be duplicated, you don't have to do increment append dedupe. So if you are doing a full refresh overwrite, it means that every time the data is being read from the source, it overwrites everything that's in the destination. So we're just going to stick with full refresh overwrite in this case. Then yeah, how do you want the data to be delivered to the destination? Replicate source is wanted or append historical changes, track changes to your data over time. Changes are appended to the destination. We don't want this. So we're just going to stick with this. Then next, we don't want this to be scheduled. We want it to be manual because at the end of the day, we want uh, Airflow to do the orchestration for us. So everything else, leave it as it is, then set up connection. So you can leave this connection name as it is. Look at this is the connection name, or you can edit it. So I can decide to do sync now, it will start syncing the data. So let me click on sync now. While this one is syncing, I would then what's it called? Start up the second connection, which is the items table. So new connection, I'll be source, the item source, and the destination is the Postgres destination. So select, just preparing. All right, so the similar setting. So you are doing full refresh override. What else? Next, do this as manual, advanced settings. Because I didn't check this the other time, so that's why I want to check it now. Advanced settings, propagate few changes only, or propagate all feeds and stream changes, approve all changes myself, stop future syncs. Right? Whenever there is a change in the schema from the source, what action do you want Airbyte to take? So that is all the options that are here. The first option here is that you are telling Airbyte to propagate the changes to the destination table. The second option here is propagate all field and stream changes. So if any field and also there's a change in the stream, you want to also propagate that instead of only propagating the field. And the third item is approve all changes myself. So whenever there's a change in the schema from the source, you want to investigate it yourself before propagating anything. Here you have stop future syncs. Connection will be automatically disabled as soon as any schema changes are detected. All right, so I think and there's some other options there. We are going to ignore this for now. So set up connection and do start syncing now. So let's go back to connections and see the first one has finished syncing. The last sync was like 2 minutes ago, and it was successful, as you can see here. Succeeded sync. So you can check our Postgres database for this customers table there. So ideally it should name it as row underscore customers also. So let's check real quick. So I would I want to go into uh the Postgres terminal. You can use pgadmin to access it using the pgadmin user interface, but I want to access it through the terminal. So I'm going to do docker exec plug it, the name of the container, which is Postgres underscore source, then bash into it. All right. So to enter into the PSQL terminal, so do PSQL, type PSQL flag u, sorry, flag u Postgres. Let me define the user, Postgres user. So I'm into the terminal now. Let me connect to the database that we move the data into, which is MDS prod. All right, so you're now connected to the database MDS prod as user Postgres. So let's query the data and see. So let's start from the name of the schema. The name of the schema is port schema. So port dot row underscore customers limit 5. Relation port dot row underscore customers does not exist. Oh, sorry. The name of the stream is rename it Java underscore customers. All right, so this is what it is like. Enter. Let's look at the. Oh, okay. Let's go up again and see the schema. So we have the ID, the name, the source file URL, the source file last modifier, row ID, extracted at Airbyte meta, so you have that here. Let me see again. ID, name, source URL. All right. So since I've been able to like move the data, I've checked for customers to see the structure where you have the names and everything, right? So let's also check for items, Java underscore items. So you can see some of the details, ID, the item ID, the SKU, the other ID, then some metadata about how the data was extracted. This code, and this is the ID of the item. This is the SKU, then the other ID. and like so. Just press Q on your keyboard to exit. So now, since that is done, we are able to move data. So you are going just going to create like the sources for other files from the bucket to move it to Postgres. So another connection I want to do is from Postgres to Snowflake. So let's put create this Snowflake source. Sorry, a Postgres source now. So new source Postgres. So let's call it MDS. It's okay, it's doing. So let's call it MDS PG source or something. Yeah, host local host port is 5433. Database is MDS prod. Uh, Optional fields is this schema, which is prod. This is schema. Username is Postgres. Postgres. The password, you put the password there. You have the password. And scan changes with user defined cursor. So I think every other thing is optional fields. You don't need this one. If you want this more like if you want to set up some specific parameter as regards your connection, you can input this JDBC URL and put those parameters like uh, setting a maximum number of records to push at a time from the source and stuff like that. So which is essential if you are moving large data. So you want it to move chunks at a time, not just move everything like which might be memory intensive. So setup source. Uh see, so that is done. Let's create sorry, we need to create destination first, which is the Snowflake destination. So let's new destination Snowflake uh call it MDS Snowflake. The host, the role is MDS. So we fill in the host data. The warehouse is MDS warehouse. Database. What did we call the database again? Uh, let's check. Let's check. Let's check. Snowflake. Okay. Database MDS port, then MDS dev and stuff like that. Schema. You are going to move to the raw schema. So database MDS port. Schema is raw. I'm moving into the raw schema. Username is MDS user. Then the option that we are using for authentication is password, username and password. So put in the password. Uh, I think I got the password right. So for the host, the name of the host, we just, sorry, excuse me, go back to your profile. Just go to your profile here. Uh, Under this account, just select this and click on this copy account URL. And let's go back to our connection and put it there. So don't need this HTTPS. So that's our host. Sync set of destination. If I got the password right, everything should be fine. So let's just give him a few seconds. All right, all connection test passed, so we're good. So let's create connection. Our source is the Postgres source. It has selected the MDS Snowflake already. So you can see that automatically it brought out all the tables under the schema in the Postgres source. So which is very good. So I can select on this destination schema how I want what I want the destination schema to look like. So for Java customers, let me select it. I I don't want all of this one from the source to get in there. I might just uh, so this is what is going to move to the from the source to the destination. So all this metadata, right? And so let's select. We want to bring in this to the destination. We want to also bring this to the destination. We are selecting both of them. So if you have created all of those tables in the source, you have to select all 6 of them. But because you have already done 2 for now, so that's why you can only have 2 here. So I will have to go back to modify this after I've moved the data, all the files from Google Cloud Storage to Postgres so that I can have all 6 move into Snowflake. Google Cloud Storage to Postgres so that I can have all 6 move into Snowflake. Alright, so let's click on the destination schema again. We If I say we don't want this one to go in, we don't want this to go in, we don't want this to go in. Okay, this can go. So I'm fine with the remaining 4 here. Also for Jaffle items, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Uh, I think this is fine. Let me check this again. Okay, yeah. So uh, if you want to do incremental, you look at the schema. You have ID, which is string, and the name. So it's not going to be ideal to use incremental for this guy because unless you want to use the extracted art as the incremental or as the cursor field, but then uh, because we're not doing incremental from the source from how we load it to the Postgres source, this might not be ideal. So we're going to leave this as also full refresh overwrite. For the item too, there are no time time field that we can use to track the incremental load. So we're going to put this also as full refresh override. And I think everything here is fine. Alright guys, so when you are doing your sync for this Postgres source, I forgot, ensure to uncheck this Airbyte meta and also kind of uncheck this one. The reason is that when Snowflake, Airbyte syncs this data to the source, to the destination, this information are also populated on the destination side. So you now kind of have duplicate of this column. So just uncheck them. You don't need all this metadata. Just the name, the field, original field from the source, which is the ID and the name for the customer, for the items, for instance. You have the ID, the other ID SKU, all of these other metadata, uncheck them. Alright, so once that is done, you save, then, then you sync. Then next, you want it to be manual. If you want any prefix to be on the stream, you can add this. Advanced settings, I think everything else remains the same. And set up connection. So it has the two stream that needs to be pushed. Let's click on sync now. I'll go to Snowflake. Everything should be moved to this MDS pod under this raw schema. Under this raw schema. So just you can track the stream here. So by the time it is done, you should find your stream on Snowflake. So let's just give it a minute. So we are going to see how other stream is going to flow in, because I'm not going to demonstrate that, but I'm going to do it prior to our next video and just go through them for so that not to waste our time. We'll just go through them in our next video. This is what we did, and if there are any changes compared to what we have done so far, I will explain, and so we can discuss any intricacies as regards those changes. So now, but in our next video, this is where we're going to stop in this video. In our next video, we're going to develop DBT projects, customize our DBT project, the YAML file, create some macros uh, that is going to more like it's specific to how we want to develop our project, create defined sources and some source tests, then develop models for the different layers that we have created on Snowflake, which is the staging, the intermediate, and the math layer, right? We should be able to achieve that in our next video, which which is going to come up like later this week. So be expectant, and don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell. At the end of this video, you're going to see the option to subscribe. So subscribe so that you can get notified of upcoming videos. Right, it's worth to mention that if you have Airbyte, like probably before attempting this series, you have Airbyte installed and you're having difficulty to setting up your source or your connection. Maybe you might try to like develop to upgrade your Airbyte, and because Airbyte are actually deprecating the their support for Docker Compose options for installing Airbyte, they are moving to command line using abctl, right? So you might face a little bit of challenge having to do the upgrade. So what I'll say you should do is clean up your Docker container for the existing Airbyte that you have. Then we start the process afresh as if you are installing Airbyte again. So with that, you should be good, right? So I would I'll probably put it in the comment section as regards how you can go about that. But if you are newly installing Never via the method that I discussed in the previous video, you should be fine. But in the future, you have to switch to the CLI version, right? So Alright, so guys, the stream has succeeded. As you can see, 930 record was written to the customers table, while about 90,000 records was written to the items table. So if we go to Snowflake, you should see it under the raw schema now. Just need to refresh the database. So let's see, yeah, tables, Java customers, and Java items, as you can see. So as I said, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can learn about new episodes coming from this series. So I already highlighted what we're going to be doing next. All right, thank you very much and see you next time.